He does when he does. He's doing this. Mark. Hi, welcome to the conversation. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. Welcome to another exciting edition. Today with me, I have none other than Raj Singh. He was born in the U.S. in Jersey City. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor, and he is part of the supergroup, the Supertones. Welcome, Raj. How are
Thank you. Appreciate it. Doing great. Thank you very much.
So you were in the studio last night.
That's right,
You had
very
a
late.
long night. And what were you doing in the studio?
Doing a new song, actually. It's a song I'm very excited about because we're working on finishing up the last few items of the song, the detail with the vocals and the music, and then we'll be doing a music video very soon, within the next few days in Florida.
Okay.
And very excited about this project. It's a whole new type of setting for us. We're going to be featuring a belly dancer
Oh, nice.
who will be dancing with fire, swords, and snakes.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Is that part of something for yourself, or just part of?
It's part of the production from our
Supertones.
Supertones band, yeah. So this
Okay.
is a song that I'm doing, King Raj, but also the music is by the band Avi and so forth, and Princess Anissa, you know, as well in the band also.
Nice. So take us back and tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I said, you were born here in Jersey City.
That's
but
right.
You're Guyanese, Trinidadian. So
Ah, you gave it away. That's
Yeah.
right. The best of both worlds. My mom is from Trinidad. My dad is from Guyana, and I was born over here, so I have my papers too. And hybrids are in, is what I say. So there you go.
So and how did you get into the music scene?
From a very early age, just being involved in church, going to Mandir and so forth with my family, and my dad just wanting me to sing and just wanted to gain his approval, and started singing in church. And then one day just started after church or at a wedding house, and then started doing chutney music. And then from there, other people wanted me to sing more at shows or fundraising events. And then later on, Terry Gadraj saw me at shows and kind of was that bridge from myself with joining the Supertones band, and that was about 4 years ago.
The famous Terry. Hey Terry, how are you?
That's right, the guy in the Bible himself.
Yeah. So yeah, he's very involved. I like that about him.
And very encouraging as well.
Yeah.
He encourages a lot of new people and youth to just
Yeah,
further.
he's always spotting talent. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I think he spotted Mystic.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, okay,
I
cool.
thought I heard something like that. So you got started at a young age, and when did you want to take it like on the road professionally?
Well, you know what? I never actually dreamed of doing what I'm doing now on stage and performing in all these different countries on tour with the Supertones band, or being international or performing for like thousands and thousands of people. Never, ever thought I would be doing this. It's just a shock to me as much as anyone else. I'm probably one of the only artists I can think of that didn't know they were going to do this, that wasn't a kid saying, oh, I'm going to be a singer when I grow up,
So
or
this is
have
not
all
a
this
dream of
experience.
yours?
It was not a dream.
It
So
wasn't
it's
a passion like I'm going to be a singer one day. I'm going to be in front of millions of people.
Not at all. It was always a passion to sing to myself, because I would just do it personally, even when I'm home, just on the harmonium, let's say, because I just felt a closer connection to my spirit and to the universe when I did that for myself.
Right.
But I never knew that it would take off. Never thought I could actually be popular on stage or anything like that. No.
So how did the connection go from Terry to Supertones?
At a show, we were at a show that he was working with the promoter on
Where
bringing
was this, in the
talent,
US
and
or
this was
Guyana?
in New York, actually, in the Bronx, and I was on that show with the Supertones band backing me up. So that's when I met Avinash and Princess Anissa, and then after the gig, after we went through rehearsals and things like that, then after that, Terry said to me, he said, hey, you know, you ever thought about joining the band? Why don't you join the band? I said, really? What does that even mean? I had no clue. And we basically all liked each other's personality, and they said they were, I found out afterwards, they were interviewing several people at the time to join the band, and fortunately, they said I wasn't necessarily the most talented or most skilled, but they liked my attitude and my
that's what
personality.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. What separated you from the pack?
I think that's what it was. It was more of attitude and personality. I'm just big into having a positive attitude and
know you're a bit of
having
a
no
comedian.
ego. I guess comedian too, but I don't know if that's necessarily what got me in there. But you know, even Einstein says imagination and creativity is more important than skill or knowledge. And I don't think I'm the most skilled or knowledgeable about something, but I think I just have a good attitude, you know?
Right, creative. So tell us about your role with Supertone.
I am
Where
the.
have you traveled and?
Okay, great. I am the lead vocalist for male vocalist for the Supertones band. Princess Anissa is my partner in crime on stage. She's the lead female vocalist.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've traveled to different countries like Canada, Suriname. We went there a bunch of times. Holland, which is in Europe, and the Netherlands. We've went to Spain just a few months ago as well on tour. Guyana as well. We've done several shows out there, huge shows with
What type of
tens
shows?
of thousands of people.
Is this part of an act, or is it just you guys alone?
These are with Supertones. Some of them are where we're the feature band when we go, and then others are shows where there are several bands playing and we're one of the acts on the show. And we travel a lot nationally as well, just domestically, going to Minnesota, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Texas. We've been to Schenectady, all these places.
How well is Supertone, the band? How well are they known? Are they popular in I know that they're probably in the West Indian community they're probably popular, but what about in terms of like the American market?
I would say definitely more in our genre, which is chutney soca. Fortunately, we're blessed to be the most traveled, the most internationally toured band in America. There's no other band in America that's based here that travels as much or goes on tour as much to all these places. So we're known for that, as well as the recording studio, the Supertones recording studio, which is led by Avi, the master, the mad scientist in the lab, doing all the music. So he's one of the probably most popular chutney soca studios, I would say, in America as well.
Do you guys plan to take it out of the chutney soca genre and maybe try, because there was one song you guys did for the suicide epidemic that's going on in Guyana, that love song?
Yes.
So you guys planning any more, like that?
Well, we are actually. We've been doing some crossover things, and that's the genius of Avi as well. There was a song we did a few months ago called Don't Study It, where it's a very popular video on YouTube, and everybody do check it out. But that was more of a crossover where there were different elements, some Latin musical instruments were in there, so it wasn't, no one could really categorize it as chutney soca. It was more crossover, and we've been doing songs like that ever since. Even this last song I did called Pressure, that was more of the soca genre, but there was different elements Avi used on the rhythm that were like from reggae beats as well. So that could be more crossover. So we're trying new things, and we do have some other projects we're working on. Even this new Belly Dancer song, it's not going to be just strictly chutney or chutney soca. It can cross over. So you never know. I mean, if you look at even reggaeton, what that is now to mainstream, whereas a few years ago that was just a little Spanish market.
Right.
You know?
Everything was underground. Are you guys planning to collaborate with anybody else? Any other group or any other people, or?
Absolutely, all the time. Some collaborations I've done in the past were with a very popular reggae artist called Jixi King. He's a legend, a living legend in that industry, and I was able to do a song with him a few years ago. And we're on stage with a lot of these guys as well from other genres of music. I mean, I've shared the stage, same stage with people like Shabba Ranks and Capleton, and these big soca artists like Bunji Garlin and Destra. And things like that. So we are working on some collaborations right now. I don't want to give it away, but we're always doing different things.
Well, keep us abreast and posted.
Of course, of course.
Now, other than music, because music, even though it's your passion and it's somewhat like most of your life, you decided also to venture out into other areas of business, entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes.
Take us into that world.
Well, I've always been ambitious as a kid. I think it's just growing up in a single-parent household, parents split up and so forth, and it's always, in that type of situation, it's always, money is always a challenge, I should say, because if mom's making too much, then she wants dad to pay less child support, and if dad makes too much, mom wants more child support, so I'm sure it's a typical situation today in America, right? So growing up with that, it made me very ambitious. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was able to provide for my family and leave a legacy.
Family.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you mean family?
Well, when I do have kids, I don't have any yet. When I get married and have kids, which I don't, but I was always working towards that, to that goal, to have that legacy, that Singh dynasty, as I called it, or envision it. So I was always ambitious with different businesses, trying different things.
Singh is king, or?
Yeah, there you go, Singh is king. And so yes, I have several businesses that I own. I do investing. I own an investment company as well. I'm writing a book right now. Investing in real estate. That's I was on a infomercial a few years ago all throughout America and Canada, so that was fun. just being on there on TV for my real estate successes and so forth.
So what do you do with investment? People call you up and tell you?
Well, I do private investing myself with real estate and some other things like stock trading and Forex, for foreign exchange currency trading.
What's the name of your company?
But I just recently started a company, very recently, just a few years ago. I have an LLC, and where I can have clients invest with me and so forth and have their money work for them instead of them working for money.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I believe in passive income, which is doing the work once or not doing the work and having your money work for you. Because even Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says you should have money work for you, not work for money. You should have money chase you, not chase money.
Right.
So I try to just incorporate those things. I go to a lot of seminars. I believe strongly in personal development, and I'm always learning. So I'm fortunate to be able to find some passive income vehicles where people can generate income without having to physically work for it, where the money is working for them, because that's what the wealthy people do.
Right. So I'm off the street. I see your company.
Yes.
I come to you and I said, Raj, I'm trying to invest. Take us down the path because people are listening. So we're gonna put up the phone numbers and that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay, great. Appreciate that. Yes, I have I mean, I don't really market it strongly to the public, but it is a private investment club that I have. And
so
it is,
you seek the investors?
Yes, or by referrals, actually.
Okay.
Because I do want to stay within the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission regulations, you know, and things like that, just legally. So, but I have some big investors that are coming to me with a lot of pull with people in that are book authors and so forth. So I'm actually working on a book right now.
That's the next thing that we're going to talk about. It was just mentioned.
Yes.
I think in one of the New York papers, one of the trades.
Yeah.
That you have signed a deal with a book company.
Yeah, with the publishing house where I will be co-authoring a book with some heroes of mine from several years. I'm a big fan, a fanatic of The Secret documentary movie book, and some of the authors from there. I'll be co-authoring with Dr. John Gray from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He'll be co-authoring the next book that I'm working on right now that will be out, published in the next few months, as well as Marcy Shimoff from The Secret as well.
Yeah.
So very exciting,
fantastic.
very exciting.
When is that coming out?
Within the next few months, definitely.
Okay, and you will be back to share that with us.
Yeah, I would love to. Very excited about it, very blessed, and you know, I stay busy. I rather burn out than rust out, they say.
I don't know about that because burnout is not a good thing, but I want to rust out. Now, what are you doing in interim between the music and the investment and the book? What are you going to go on tour?
Yeah, we go on tour every so often. We have our seasons where we are busy with the band, so I like that because then on our off seasons I can do other things. So I also act in different plays. I've been off Broadway before in New York.
Have we seen you in anything?
Yeah, probably, and then go internationally as well in Guyana, Canada, acting.
What is this American productions or local West Indian productions?
These are West Indian productions, mostly with the Nirvana Humanitarian Foundation, which is a charitable organization. As well, doing great things for people back home in Guyana and elsewhere. So when we go to Guyana, for example, we go to the orphanages there, or when I'm with my band in Suriname, we go to the orphanages there as well and play Holi, Pagua Festival with the kids, things like that. So that's what I like to do in my downtime. I just stay busy, just growing up in the churches I'm there, so then I can also focus sometimes on classical music and my more religious singing when we have downtime with the band as well.
So are you planning to take it? You're singing like pop, you know, sort of pop rock, or are you taking it like religiously with the bhajans?
Both, you know, because that's where I grew up. It's close to my heart as far as the religious singing. And then outside of that, with the band, the Chutney Soca performing on stage, I mean, it's such a thrill to be on stage.
So shall we see you coming up with a bhajan CD anytime soon?
Oh, wow, very good question. I do plan on releasing one by the end of this year, yes.
I was vibing it.
Yeah. So I have to get more time practicing in the studio with it, but that's my goal by the end of the year. Yeah.
And
you heard it here first.
yes, live in conversation. So you're going to Florida. How long does the video take? 2 weeks, a week?
To film normally may take just a few days, depending on how many locations and how much setup and props you need and people involved. But then after that, the video editors have to do their magic, which may take another few weeks after that. So I'm looking at getting the whole production done within, let's say, a month or two.
Okay, great. One of the things I wanted to ask you, right, was that you mentioned your parents were divorced.
Yes.
Right? And that happened in New York, in New Jersey, or
Yes,
it
yes.
happened? So
New Jersey.
how was that like for you as an immigrant child? Being born of immigrant parents and being raised in, New York, the tri-state area. How was that like for you growing up?
Well, I would say it was pretty sad to say, but it was the norm. I mean, it wasn't anything
It's the new
different.
norm.
Yeah, it wasn't anything different from my classmates. So it wasn't like I had to go and explain to them what this means or anything. It was new to me as a kid, but it was pretty normal. And then even on TV shows and so forth, you would see more and more TV shows as I was younger growing up where they would address that and have that same type of situation. So I would just say it was pretty normal. It had, like I said, the struggles of visiting rights with the two parents back and forth, and you had those normal struggles and fights, and it wasn't pretty at times.
Yeah.
But I remember my dad always said, one day the kids will grow up, and then all of those challenges wouldn't be there anymore. And my sister and I, we grew up, and a lot of those things got erased after that. So. Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is because I'm sure that divorce is something that happens a lot more recently than ever before. And I want other people who are out there who might be going through this to take a look at your life and see, the strides that you have made. That even though you were challenged by, your parents divorcing, and other challenges along the way, that it didn't stop you.
Yeah, it's a very good point because it could have. I remember my dad is more of the old school Guyanese, right? So he's not necessarily a person to say, I'm proud of you or I love you or anything like that. But I remember one time hearing him say after I graduated college and everything, he was telling someone on the way out at the bottom of the stairs, telling someone else, one of his friends, he said, the kids turned out pretty okay, I think, even though they had, whatever challenges with their parents splitting up, but they still both, myself and my sister finished college and they have good jobs, good education and so forth. And I just overheard that at the top of the stairs, and man, I took it and ran with it, just knowing that that was his way of just me overhearing that he was proud of that.
How are your parents today?
They're fine. They're fine. They don't necessarily speak. My sister got married recently, and so they're all together. So everyone kind of had to just grow up and mature, and so it's not like there'll be a feud if they're in the same room or anything like that, which is great. But we've been there. We've been there.
How's your relationship with your dad and
Great, great. It's a great relationship. Yes.
Because I know sometimes in the dynamics of the family, like when you, in a divorce setting, you move with your mom or you move with your dad, this one gets angry and, you didn't take my side, you didn't take that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that growing up. But all I can say to inspire anyone that's going through that.
The children are used as pawns in the war.
Yes, yes.
Of the roses.
Don't tell her this, but don't tell him that, and it goes back and forth.
Or, who is she seeing or who is he seeing?
It's a lot of, I've been through all of that. But all I can say is it gets better. Once you become an adult and all that stops, especially when child support stops and you're in college and everyone's educated, that stops.
But you're talking about growing up and then it stops. But I want you to address the audience, especially for the kids or the teenagers who are watching and who are liking you as part of the Supertones, and you're writing the novels and you're an investor and the entrepreneur and that sort of stuff. I want you to give them some piece of a takeaway from this episode to how to deal with that sort of stuff. Whatever they might be going through, instead of running to the drugs and the alcohol and they're trying to escape, give them a little bit about you to take away from the show.
Sure. Actually, what happened, I remember when I was in first grade, and it was very hard on me where it would stress me out when it just first started happening. And I was always a great student academically before that. And then they were looking at skipping me a grade. And then all of a sudden my grades dropped a little bit where I would get, let's say, a B+ instead of an A+.
Right.
And I didn't get skipped. And it was a shocker. And then the teacher had a talk with me, which I always remembered, and said, hey, what's going on here? You can either let what's happening with your parents, if that's the situation, you can let that hold you back a little and let that be the excuse for the rest of your life, or you can let that be the reason that you're still going to show that that didn't stop you. You still did what you had to do regardless. And that stuck with me. And after that, I actually went back and did what I had to do academically. And I always thought of that. And it just shows, absolutely, that anything in life, it's how we, circumstances will happen to us. Every success, they say, was a a disaster before. Every master was
It
a
was a stepping
disaster.
stone.
Something happened, right? Everyone has their story. So no matter what your story is, no matter what life throws at you, and what I do every so often, if I'm feeling down, I have my down days too. Nobody pretty much knows about it because I'm a positive guy, but I'll YouTube something inspirational, motivational, and watch, and you see there's always people way worse than us. So just look at that and let it show us that, hey, this is your story. And if anytime I'm going through something that's negative, I'm always thinking this is a part of my story because I'm going to show how I overcame it. Every setback is a set up for a comeback.
Exactly. Well said. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show. It wasn't because you're this, part of the Supertones, and it was behind the scenes.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that people don't always see. And when they see you, you're always laughing, you're always smiling, you're always positive, you're always a comedian, and you're always pleasant, and you always make everybody feel at home. But
Yes.
who is the real Raj? That's what I want people to get to know. The person that came from this divorce setup, that went through this latchkey sort of childhood, and overcame all of that and became King Raj.
Well, I appreciate that. That is something that most people don't talk about, and I've discussed more here in a few minutes with you. For the public, even though I've had many interviews that most people on radio and TV, I'm revealing a lot of information that most people don't know about.
And that's
me,
why
so
you're here in conversation with Mark Anthony.
There you go. Thank you.
So, tell us. Talk to us.
Okay.
I
What
mean-
else would you like to know?
No, take us through, like you said, the first grade with your teacher, right?
Okay.
Take us take us through your journey.
Sure, sure.
Like, before when you got to college and you overheard your dad talking about that,
Yeah.
what was it like in between?
Sure, in between, yes. Even in
I want the audience, especially the young kids and the teenagers who are, admirers of yours or well-wishers of yours.
Thanks.
I want them to take away from this program, hey, he did it, I can do it. I don't have to fall on the wayside. I don't have to get depressed. I don't have to do drugs. I don't have to do
Yes.
alcohol. I can just be like him. If he can do it, so can I.
Well, one thing I have always done is, I think more than anything, even though I might have all these titles and professions, let's say, but I think what best describes me in one word is a student. I've always been a student of anything that I wanted to become. And I just followed some advice from mentors that I would look up, which was find someone that's where you want to be, just take notes and study them.
So have you had any mentors? Did you find anybody during your life?
Yeah, and different people said different things to me at different times. Like I remember when I was young as well as a kid, it was like a janitor that said to me, he was telling a bunch of us kids, boys, he was just like, hey, you don't want to be chasing girls and this and that, doing that when I was very young. And he said some other choice words, but about girls, you don't want to just chase that. You want to just get your education on and do that, because once you have that, you'll get the good job and you'll get that good income, and then you'll have them flocking to you.
Right.
And I know probably the other dozen or so guys that was there, kids, probably didn't take anything from that, whatever, they went on to playing, but I remember that.
It stuck with
and
you,
it
it
stuck with me
resonated with
because I'm
you.
like, yeah, exactly. I want to be that person that not necessarily has a lot of girls, but that person that's a successful person, and I get what I want out of life.
I think the young ladies or women in general, they want to have a man who is educated, who is working, who can provide for them, and who is a good partner,
Yes.
and not one who is just
Yeah.
sitting by and just hanging out,
Yeah.
and the regular playboy. That fades after a while.
Well, they say the success is in the journey, not the destination. You want someone always working towards something they're passionate about and never feel that you've arrived. So that's why I keep setting new goals and everything. And even in high school, I remember walking a few blocks away with a group of people, a group of friends, where we would volunteer together at Christ Hospital in Jersey City as well. And when we'd walk, all these luxury cars would pass by, and all the girls that were walking with us, they would be like, oh, wow, look at him in that car. Look at that car, look at that car. So I wanted a car. So then as soon as I became age to get a license, I was a sophomore in high school. I got up my license, I bought my first car, paid for it all myself by working hard. I didn't get it.
What kind of jobs you held?
Back then, I was working at a kids' clothing store, and I did I must have did over 50 hours a week after school and on weekends, and I did that for a few months and was able to get an old hoopty car. It was two-toned, red and rust, my first car. So,
Hey,
but
it's
it worked,
yours.
and I was one of those kids that had great rims
Yeah,
and
you're proud of your work.
great rims and a system in an old rusted out car. Yeah, that was me in high school, you know, but it worked. And then even when after that, as soon as I started college, got my first investment property and got more after that. And people always thought, oh, your dad's in real estate too. He must have helped you out. No, actually, I always told him after I got the properties. You know, I didn't, so that was all myself as well.
So this was all hard work on your part?
Yeah, it was all hard work. I just, hard work, that's what it was.
The difficulties, the challenges, you didn't let it retard you or stop you from proceeding, progressing to being who you are. You're going to come back with the book.
Yes.
And we're going to pick up this conversation. In the few minutes that we have left, tell the audience where they can find you. And I know you have Facebook, social media, and that sort of stuff. Do you have any type of email, any website?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking. Everyone definitely do reach out and check me out online. My website is thekingraj.com. That's www.thekingraj.com. You can find me.
Or?
T-H-E.
Okay.
Yeah, have to keep it professional. And my name is King Raj of the Supertones Band. And on Facebook, social media, Instagram, you can find me on all those sites and see where we're going on tour next. Please say hello if you're watching this interview right now. I would love to hear your feedback and comments. And I must say thank you and all your team for having me here today. Really appreciate it.
We love having you here. We have like about 3 minutes, I'm being told. Just give us something. You want to sing us a song? You want to hum us a song? You want to read a line from your book?
Well, you know, I will say my life mission, I believe, and my purpose here is basically to inspire and motivate others. Because like I said, I'm not the most talented, trust me. And, you know, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. You know, I'm not the smartest cookie. But what I will say is everything I do, what I think in mind is I just want to inspire someone else. That if he could do this with like no experience in this or that, this and that, then someone else with more experience and talent can definitely do it. So if anyone has any questions about anything or wants some guidance or anything like that, please do reach out. You can email me. My email address is raj@thekingraj.com, or just Google me. You'll find everything on me. Check out my videos on YouTube, and then you'll see songs, a lot of music videos on there, and so forth.
I want to thank you very much for coming, and please don't be a stranger. Folks, I would like to thank you for joining me in conversation with King Raj. And I wanted you to take away from the show that no matter what you're going through in life, there's always something positive to look forward to. Think about the bigger picture. Don't think about just what's happening in your life at the present moment. Thanks so much. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye.